Somebody have a campfire because I'm in.
You biffed that so hard.
Hello, everybody. I'm Will.
And I'm Kristen.
And this is American Horror Stories, Episode 6, Feral. Well, it is nice for American Horror Stories to finally show the fuck up. Episode 6.
Agreed.
Week 6.
I'm nauseated.
Are you really?
Oh, yeah. That was tough.
Well, what did you think?
No, I thought it was really good.
That was great.
Was short, which is super nice for something like this. It also was...
But they covered a lot of ground.
They covered a ton of ground. It also, in my opinion, was the scariest one yet. The legitimately scariest one yet. Because this was like a lot of things rolled into one. It's like the zombie redneck torture family, and it's the Descent all in one. So there's like Cabin in the Woods shit and the Descent shit. And it was like really, really, really spooky and horrible.
Well, the other thing that I really appreciated, and I tried to distract you from it, the title gave it away, if you ask me.
Feral, okay.
So I tried to like have it, and also I managed to distract you from Cody being in it.
I saw his name.
Did you? Okay.
But I didn't place him in time.
It appears, at least for us, that gets us halfway, 50% of the way, is having a bigwig, a heavy hitter, and I'm factoring Aaron Tevitt into that.
Well, even for me, I know Tiffany DuPont from that show Greek.
She was good.
Yeah, I like her a lot. She was the villain on that show Greek. She
was bringing a little bit of Sarah Wayne Callis from The Walking Dead.
I see it.
But not... I think it worked. So starting there,
I don't think Sarah Wayne Callis' performance was the issue on The Walking Dead.
It was the characterization. Yeah. But so starting there, I immediately was interested in and cared about our two protagonists. Mm-hmm. There was not one, not two, not possibly three. There was like 4 misdirects.
Yeah.
Because in the beginning, we're like, what the fuck is up with this child? This child's weird. Then we have...
He was just staring out the window.
We have a Bigfoot misdirect. Mm-hmm. We have a Mexican drug cartel red herring.
Yeah, she even says something about a bear attack.
So there was a sense of what the fuck are we dealing with?
Yeah.
Because also, I just read one of those creepy TikTok or watched one of those creepy TikTok that it could be real, could be urban legend, about like a couple who narrowly avoided being murdered at a campsite. Mm-hmm. So that's the first place my mind went, is someone was stalking them. Very effective.
I could just as easily be murdered in my own home. I'm not going to go out camping and make it easier.
Okay. Believe it or not, I like glamping.
Sure.
I like campsites with other people. I like drinking and like fooling around outside.
You know what I like doing is I like going to my dad's house in the country.
You can stay in the solar powered main house or the 2-story loft or the...
Yeah, I'm just saying. It's much better.
You have one of 3 houses to choose from.
Well, the other one's just a barn.
He rents it out. Like,
he doesn't rent out the barn.
Oh, well, regardless. So yeah, so I was invested with Aaron, very likable. So we're just like rock hard for him, but he like...
True.
But even the characterization, like he could provide for his family in a way that like he set up the tent and he like made all this stuff nice.
They had like a chemical toilet. That was like a boss camping site. If you're going to camp in the legit woods, that was a pretty boss way to do it.
Mm-hmm. The child disappearing was interesting. The 10 years, I mean, 10, might have gone more like 6 or 7, but...
In my opinion, 10 was too many. Mm-hmm. 10 was too many for sure. Because I can understand their marriage dissolving and everything. Maybe it's just my callous attitude or the fact that I don't have children. I would not be keeping it up like he was 10 years later.
Well, she was putting up a fight, and he also was like...
I would have been way more like her and been like, I have to move on from this.
But he made a point that like people think he killed the kid.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah, he was like, people think I murdered my son, like,
blah, blah,
blah.
I get that.
They did it. That's what I mean. I'm like, they covered a lot of ground. They had like the couple fight.
Yeah.
And all of this was in 40 minutes. And to be quite honest, it was not too long. It did not overstay its welcome. But what I'm going to say is it could have been edited even tighter.
It could have been.
There's a couple things that could have gone, but
okay, that's I think what I like the best about this is it's not necessarily like reading a creepypasta or something, but it's just very contained. It's like those like 6-sentence horror story things, or like a William Carlos Williams poem.
Well, the other thing that
they're just so, I mean, even the ones I haven't liked so far have been delightfully contained, but this one had the biggest button put on the end.
Yeah,
because like the Rubber Woman ones. That was borderline a happy ending, like a happy memory.
It also was, like we've mentioned, part of the vast overarching American Horror Story mythos.
Yeah,
it was like well in that realm.
Contained. Yeah.
The other thing that I liked the most about this one, or I found very intriguing about this one is mildly plausible.
Yeah, that's why I hate it. The descent is plausible.
Yeah, the only place where it does actually get me is the fact, but it was also one of my favorite parts. So when we do get Cody Fern, with his actual accent, I thought was funny. It was interesting. It was fine.
It's just funny that this Australian man would want to be like an American park ranger, which is just a delight. But also, I like never really realized it before. I think that if we ever needed someone else to play Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lambs, he could pull it off. He's got a very similar vibe.
The part that does strain it for me, and again, I'm repeating myself, but I also liked it about it was the intrigue of the, well, legally I can or can't say, or that stuff. But that's where it does lose me, is the fact that the government would be that, like, when he started spinning the tale at the end about like how the government, it's like a conspiracy and they're in every national park and all that, I started getting a little bit kind of like, okay, I don't buy into that. It's kind of like that whole, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. And it was, I forget who it was, but there was like some like statistician or something, like it's their actual job, like hypothetically proposed if the moon landing was fake, there would be like 153,000 people who would have had to have kept the secret.
That's too many.
And so it's stuff like that where I'm like, at a certain point, if the government is that involved, it doesn't stay secret.
Two can keep a secret if one of them is dead. Like, that's a very...
So he went a little too far in his explanation, but I do like the notion of like I think the government was too in control. I wish the government was more so just sort of covering it up.
Sure, but the fact that they were like sending teams to hunt the things
and allowing tourists to go for the money, and like that's where it just went like a hair too far. But also that location should have been way more fortified.
Yeah, his like
there's like, how has he survived 10 years with,
and like, why does he not have a Humvee to escape? Like, there should have been a car. They were like running through the woods trying to get away. I mean, in order to make the ending
in order to make the story work, yes.
I know why. And that's honestly, this ending was just horrifying, but in my opinion, the most satisfying one of these episodes so far, because that was, I mean, bone chilling. I really liked it. I hated it, but I really liked it.
Do you want to explain it to the audience?
Yeah, so they're like running through the woods. He's been shot. Aaron Tvit's been shot. They're running through the woods trying to get away, but all the things are following them. Also, it's truly disgusting, but I really appreciated the myriad design.
The variety.
It was like they were all weird and they're gross in different ways.
Well, because they could have been there since like the Vikings landed in Newfoundland, or it could have been like the Civil War, or you get the sense like some were more inbred than others.
Yeah, potential inbreeding and stuff. And so what I liked a lot is that this normal child has been exalted to their king. So this just 12, like maybe 13, 14
I think of it
boy.
as very us. Like maybe the child was a hair more sophisticated and was able to rise to the top.
Obviously. So he is their king, and he is there just in the middle of kind of nowhere on a throne of bones. And
with Madam Satan's crown.
Yeah, with a finger bones crown. And he is just sort of sitting there, and he says boo, and they're so happy to see him. And then one of the other...
So is the implication that he recognizes them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but he doesn't
care.
He doesn't he recognizes them, but I think it's not that deep. And then one of the other ones in a weird language
I could have done without the translation. I wish it just like kind of like, I wish they didn't translate it, because it was clear.
Yes. I mean, it does have captions at the bottom.
And to imagine these things having a sophisticated enough language and the concept of a communal mealtime challenges. some of the, so I would have done without the
I definitely agree. Like, Sunday supper, like, but he says, "Who are these people?" And then the boy just says dinner, and then they all descend. And honestly, just nauseating.
Eat them,
but
alive.
So
Her
good.
hand is ate them alive with human teeth.
Some of them had human teeth for eyeballs too. So no,
they had a few tools.
Yeah.
But no, that's my biggest issue with the zombie, like, a conundrum is they're being eaten alive with human teeth.
Yeah. No, it's truly nauseating. And you can hear them screaming like the whole time. It's horrible. But honestly,
it was fun.
It
was the sort of like the shocking, but also sort of not. I don't mean this one wasn't quite titillating, but it had that like American Horror Story.
It felt
like,
good.
Yeah. And I also, so I know I'm the one that's been asking for this anthology season. And I know I've got it, but I do now at this point sort of want them to convene or converge. I really don't think we should have killed Cody. I think he would have been an important figure to have out there. And also, I mean, I'm just taking it as canon that in the American Horror Story world, this is just out there.
Sure. Yeah.
And
so far there are 2 Aaron Tevitts. Ooh.
Somebody have a campfire because I'm in.
You biffed that so hard.
Somebody have a campsite because I'm in need of a spit roast.
Ew. That was worse than I thought it was going to be.
I've never been to France. I'd always like to see the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah. This has devolved into
Aaron.
A lot. Yeah. He's not watching this. He's a theater boy.
So anyways, Brava, I guess.
Yeah, good. Really good. This was definitely my favorite entry so far. I mean, I really liked the Rubber Woman episodes, but
I think it was fun in its own right.
Yeah, but this was very, like, it's totally whole own thing, and it was a really tight cast. It was a really tight runtime.
So I don't know if it's better or worse now that we know
that they can
at any
do this.
moment it can be. It was Mike Vogel wrote and directed it, but he also wrote and directed on like the other like the Naughty List. So
this is Manny Koto.
Sorry, Manny Koto.
Oh,
where did I get Mike Vogel?
I don't know. Well, Stan Vogel was Cody Fern's name.
Okay, that might have been it. It was Manny Cody. He wrote and maybe it's the writing and direction combination.
Maybe because you know what your vision's supposed to be.
So yeah, good. I guess we're in this for the long haul. So stay tuned.
Bye.
I want it in my mouth and my butt.